Yeah.
And how did your family celebrate significant holidays?
Oh, like Christmas time was always very, very good. My father was in the army, so he travelled a lot. But when he did actually travel internationally, like and overseas, he'd bring back presents that no one would have in Clonmel, which was great. Like he'd bring back all these electrical helicopters and things like that. So Christmas was a big day for us. We'd get up very early in the morning, at about 6 o'clock in the morning. We'd always get a selection box, each and every one of us. That's why I absolutely love chocolate, I think, to this day. And then he'd always make a big breakfast. My father actually was a better cook than my mother. If my mother could only hear me now, though, saying that. So we'd always get a big breakfast. And then we had a lot of people come to our house Christmas Day. All our relatives came from about 10 o'clock. We'd be lucky to get our Christmas dinner by 4 o'clock. And even at that, there'd be about 30 people still in the house and we'd be eating out the back. But my mother would always say, well, sure, they can eat with us. So we always had a big party from 9, 10 o'clock in the morning until probably 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Christmas night, we always had Christmas Day and night. We had everybody calling to the door, which you'd miss. That's one thing I miss about Christmas over here. It's just everybody calling and just drinking and just having a great time talking about Christmas Eve night and midnight mass and stuff like that and how they got home and how drunk they were. So yeah, you'd miss all the stories.
But even now, don't you entertain personally on Christmas?
Oh, yeah, you're right. I actually do. I still kept up that tradition. I do have an Irish breakfast that I do every Christmas. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I do, yeah. A lot of all the Irish come and anyone is welcome. But I just kind of kept on that tradition since I came here. Yeah, I'm doing it for the last 15, 16 years now. Yeah, and it's good fun. I love it. And everyone goes home about 3, 4 o'clock and then we have our dinner. So that's if it's still ready at that point. Well, if we're able to get it ready, I should say, at that point. It all depends.
And how about St. Patrick's Day? What would you do for St. Patrick's Day?
Oh, St. Patrick's Day was a big day at home because we were always brought to, the barracks was just down the road where my father was in the army. So we had to go to Mass down there because they'd actually bless the shamrock and give out the shamrock to all the families and friends that were there. So that was a big day for us. You'd always get your little badge going down as well, your little St. Patrick's Day badge. But none of us ever wore green. I don't know where the green ever came into. I guess it went just commercialised that they thought we were just green being from Ireland. But yeah, no, it was the shamrock really was more symbolic than anything else, yeah. So.
And what kind of a badge would you get?
You'd actually get the tricolours, which is actually our flag. It's the green, white and orange is our Irish flag. And then you'd get a harp, which actually was a little gold harp, which was the significance of music and dance right in the on the badge as well. So yeah, and you get a little pin and away you went. Yeah. So to this day, they're still doing that in Ireland for the kids, actually. Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's nice.
yeah, it's a big tradition.
Now, you've mentioned your father was in the army. Did he serve overseas?
He did, yes. My father was in the army, I think, since, well, no, I know since he was about 16. Actually, there was 21 of them in family. 19 lived, and seven of them joined the army at the one time. But my father was the only one that kind of went further in it. He ended up, he was a sergeant major in the army, and he actually just retired there about 4 years ago. So he travelled an awful lot. He has been to the Lebanon, I don't know, many times. He was, not that he was never there. I mean, he was gone 6 months of the year when we were at home. You know, when we were growing up, basically, not when we were at home, when we were growing up. So yeah, he was gone that length of time. Yeah. So we got a lot of things back. So then it was tough when he came back. We weren't used to him being around because he was very much an army way, like an army man. So it was very hard for us because you'd be up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. So where would you go? I mean, even when he used to go to the hurling matches, he's mad into Tipperary hurling. We'd be up at 9 o'clock in the morning. He'd nearly expect us to have Sunday dinner, you know. But they're just very regimented, is what I'm trying to say, I guess, you know, and what they do, you know. So, but oh yeah, he was in the army for years. Yeah.
And his name is Kevin Barry?
Kevin Barry is his name, yeah.
Is he named for the Irish Patriot?
No, but we always thought when we were growing up that he was. We had these beautiful black and white plaques from Kevin Barry. They were actually engraved with Kevin Barry with the 1916 Rising. So when we were growing up, he always told us that he was the Kevin Barry. But of course, obviously, we figured out that he wasn't because if Kevin Barry was dead. But we always thought he was, like he came back as this Kevin Barry. Like, so, yeah. So, but and he sings that song actually great, Kevin, that very famous song, Kevin Barry. So yeah, that was always kind of like a standing joke. So I took those plaques with me when I was leaving Ireland.
Oh, you brought them here.
I did, yeah, I did, because there's things like that you'll never get again in Ireland, you know. So, yeah, so that's the Kevin Barry.
Earlier in the tape, you mentioned your first communion.
Oh yes.
How'd you celebrate that day?
Oh my God, yeah, I think I was saying that, was I earlier? Yeah, my mother was very, very sick the day I made my communion, so my father had to bring me to the church and everything. So I was after getting this lovely veil, but of course we were after borrowing it. So my aunt, I'd one of my, not my aunt actually, my cousin lived over the bridge, which was over a bridge obviously in the river. So I was going over there, and sure, the veil went into the water. And I thought this was brilliant, because I was telling my father it went under the bridge, and I was running to the opposite side to see the veil. I nearly got killed. We never got the veil, needless to say, and my mother she sounded better by the time we got back, because she was well able to give out. There was murder in the house because it wasn't the veil, and I'm sure we couldn't replace the veil. If we could afford one, like, we would have bought one, so it was kind of like that way. But yeah, so my aunt actually came down with me the day I made my communion, not my mother. My mother was very sick, as I said, yeah. So my sisters and brothers came down. I remember that day, and I did a reading actually that day. So at the St. Peter and Paul's Church, yeah, I did a reading. So yeah, it was a very good day, because you always got a load of money, so that was kind of nice. They always gave you money, everyone that saw you in a white dress. It was great. So I probably got less because I had no veil in my head, but that was okay. Right.
Well, first communions are big in Ireland, aren't they?
Oh God, yeah, they're very much so. We made our communion younger, like at 6 in first class, but now actually they're gone. It's more when you're 8 years of age. I think you know more what's going on, because we really didn't know what it was all about. I mean, we had a fair idea because you go to mass every Sunday, but you really didn't know the significance of what it really meant. You know, it was just basically money, as I say. It was just a way of getting money. So, and that was it.
And how about your confirmation? How did you celebrate that?
Oh my God, my confirmation was the worst day. I think I was saying this earlier too. I actually was only a pound in weight when I was born. I think I told you that. So I had actually received a lot of the sacraments that I could not receive again, which confirmation happens to be one of them. The only one I didn't receive was actually matrimony. Obviously, they couldn't marry me. But I did receive confirmation, matrimony of confirmation. So I couldn't make my confirmation again. So I had this horrible teacher, Mrs. Gaffney. So my name actually kept coming out of the hat to do a reading, to bring up the Eucharist and everything. So in the finish, she got so annoyed. She took my name completely out, and said that I couldn't go to the confirmation because I had it made already. But my mother, of course, was very upset over this. She'd be very diplomatic. She's a quiet woman, but she knows like her ground too, like with your daughter. So what we did was, it turned out that there was me and another guy, Terry Dunn, and we went and actually to the church. So it turned out better for us. We got a special blessing from the bishop that day, and we got our photographs taken. She put us in the back of the church. I'll never forget Mrs. Gaffney for it. She put us in the back of the church, kind of hiding us away from everybody. So she was very annoyed when the bishop came up, because that wouldn't be her style at all, that the actual bishop recognised us, and we got great pictures where none of the other class did. So it was kind of a good thing that we had our confirmation made. So yeah, in front of everybody, the bishop brought us up, because my mother had talked to the bishop and everything that morning, so they had arranged that announced to the teacher. So it was good, because she probably would have said no anyway. So yeah, no, the confirmation was very good. I always remember I had a navy and red outfit on me. It was a skirt and a blazer. We bought it at Heaton's. And Heaton's was a place now like that you would never ever shop, because it was always so expensive. So of course I was delighted with my little outfit, yeah, that day. And then again, of course, we got more money as well, so that was a big thing as well. It was always money.
Okay, good day.
Yeah, it was very good now.
And you were telling me about Paddy Welch, who used to have you sing IRA songs?
Oh yeah, Paddy Welch. Paddy Welch was my mother's father, actually. He actually lived with us because my aunt had him for a while. She died very young at 42 from breast cancer. So he came to live with us for a couple of years, but he died. Yeah, he was very funny. He used to just sit outside the post office all day. He's a real old IRA man, sang all the old IRA songs. And he used to put the tempans up on his forehead And if you sang the song, you got the tenpence. But if you didn't sing the song, he wouldn't give it to you. He was kind of mean half the time. So we were always trying to rob the tenpence on him when he let Annie be asleep, you know. But he was a cute old fecker all the same, you know, so.
You said he told you stories about the old IRA?
He did, yeah, like when he was in the old IRA. Now, when I talk about the old IRA, it's the people that really fought for Ireland. It wouldn't be that the IRA that's there today, which would be very, very different. They fought for a cause to really free Ireland back then. Yeah, he used to be telling us like every time that they used to get ambushed and they used to have to hide in the bushes and everything. And I always used to say to him, I don't know how you ever hid in the bush, because he was a big man, you know, and he never shut up talking. So I was always wondering why he even never survived, you know. And he used to always say, well, it was his spirit that really survived it all, you know. But he was very funny man, yeah, but he could be very serious too. But he was kind of like a figurehead in Clonmel. Everybody knew him. And he was old at the time. I mean, he didn't die until his 80s, which is old back then to live that long. Not now, of course. But and he used to always sit outside the old post office and just tell old stories. He just had his old ways about him. So,
what is the nickname for Tipperary people?
A nickname for Tipperary people. We really don't. Culchies more so, but that's more. They used to call us Culchies because we're more like we lived in the town, but like and a little outside it. So it's like when you were down south, they used to always just say we were like Culchies. That's really the Culchies, I suppose, is what we were called. Yeah, just the nickname. Yeah.
They didn't call you stone throwers?
No, not stone throwers. No, not to my knowledge. No.
What is your favorite music?
My favourite music has to be Irish music, like in the sense like all traditional. I love traditional Irish music. I do like, obviously, I used to love Meatloaf and different kind of not Celtic rock, well, just ordinary rock music as well as Celtic rock music. So, but my favourite would have to be the old traditional, the old ballads, like of years and years ago. All the history that's in our Irish songs, I guess, are the ones that I really love. You know, the likes of James Connolly and them all. They're great ballads. And just they're like being repeated like a rendition throughout generation after generation. They just seem to be coming back. Because I mean, in my father's time, Kevin Barry was there, all those songs. But nowadays, people sing them all the time. So it's funny how they just keep coming around. So yeah, they'd have to be my favourite now.
You have a lovely voice. Can I convince you to sing?
You must be joking. I couldn't. Oh, I'd love to, but I have sore throat. Maybe next time. I'm always singing down the bar downstairs.
Okay. Now, do you have other stories about the Barrys?
The Barrys themselves. We originated, I believe, from Cork, and Barry is a real Cork name. A Cork, as they say, name, and they just descended basically. There's a lot of travelling people, like they called them the knackers back then, that we would be actually related to if your family tree was done. So yeah, so that's where we originated from. But I mean, stories about just the Barrys in general, like in our family, or...
Well, Peg told me you had some interesting stories about your family that, you know...
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, they're very, very interesting. There were... I had a lot of relations in Tipperary town, who I think probably beat up everybody in the town, I'd say, that lived there at that time. They were very, very tough crowd. I don't know a lot with Irish people. Do they have a lot of anger to get out or something? I have no idea. But with these people, no matter where you go, people will know the Barrys. It was just kind of like, they were like a figurehead, like good or bad, they were known. It was kind of like, you know, the Gestapo at that point. They were known, but a lot of people wouldn't mess with them, for use of a better word. So yeah, but story wise, there's so many. Really, that's I can't even think of the stories now that Peg was saying. I can't even think. Travelling stories now. I don't want to tell you all them. Jeez, I'll be here for the day. I will, but it's like, you know what I mean? I'll probably put it into something else now. Sorry.
Now I understand you were quite a dancer.
I was, yeah, doing Irish dancing. Yeah, I was actually. I did a lot of Irish dancing the girl down the road from us, she was actually very talented, the girl of the Kennedys. And actually she still has a school in Clonmel still doing Irish dancing. So we used to always do the talent shows, and we used to sing and dance at them, and we used to act. But we always won something, at them. Yeah, they were always very, very good. But she was a beautiful dancer, Siobhan Kennedy herself. I don't know if she ever won the All Irelands, but she was that obviously that good. She wasn't just a regular, just learning it for fun kind of a thing. So we did a lot of dancing in our day now. But I mean, it's so funny. My daughter does it now, so it's so funny to hear all the tunes back again now. So, but yeah, that was always fun too. Every Sunday we used to have like talent shows and things going on. With the credit union, it was ran through the credit union, so everyone used to just go down and sing and do everything. So it was fun. It was competitive but fun, So.
Do you ever dance with your daughter?
Sometimes, I mean, when she's like stuck on some things, but I mean, she does it with the Lennon School of Irish Dance, and they're very, very good. But I could see what she's doing wrong, but she doesn't like to take criticism from her mother, who does, right? She's always saying, I'm not her teacher. It's, the Lennon should be telling her. So, but Megan agrees, that, she needs improvement, but she'll get there. But she is a very good dancer, I have to admit. Very, very nice dancer.
Now, we talked about sports before, but I forgot to ask you about camogie.
Oh, yes, we played camogie. Well, actually, camogie, we actually played, was called field hockey at that time, which is very like camogie, but the ball is a lot heavier. And we did play a lot of that. I remember going, I don't know if I told you this, that we went up to the school, up to the presentation convent. My sister had a team up there, but she went to a private school, we went to a public school. So there was this girl on the team that absolutely leveled me one day playing it. I mean, that when you get a slap of that ball, but it's a very good sport. It's like hurling, and it's like your camogie here. You play camogie in America, right? No, you don't. You know what you play now, actually, which is very, very like it? Lacrosse. It's very, very like it, but you actually use nets. But actually, you cannot you can't come above the waist in hockey or any of our field sports. But lacrosse you can, so it's kind of like reverse of it. So
what's the stick like for camogie? Is it more like a hurling stick?
It's a hurling stick, exactly. Yeah, it has a hook basically on the end of it. So
and is it shorter than a field hockey stick, or is it long?
It's long. No. It's actually longer than a hurley, and no, it would be longer. Yeah, it would be much thicker base too, because of the thickness of the ball. It wouldn't last. You see, there'd be much more weight in it than it would like a field hockey stick. Yeah, it'd be much more stronger than that, like so.
But I mean, what's the ball like?
The ball is like it's a very very heavy ball. I mean, you'd get a puck of it, like you'd feel it, you would, but you need a lot of strength too to move that ball around. You know what I mean? It's like your ice hockey. You've ice hockey. Then what kind of a ball do they use? That's right, a
puck.
A puck, yeah. It wouldn't be a puck, but it'd be an actual ball for us. So I suppose that's heavier, is it, on ice? I don't know. So yeah, it'd be something like that.
Does the ball go through the air? Does it have to stay on the ground?
Has to stay mostly stays on the ground. To be quite honest with you, with the weight on it, you'd never get it in the air. Do you know what I mean? I mean, unless you were really good, but usually it's more ground hockey, that we would play, like, yeah.
And what was your position?
Played full back. Yeah. Just watch the goal line. That was my big thing. So yeah, but I loved all that as well. Yeah, I used to play a lot of soccer as well. So yeah, we played for a company called Scheizers. They make men's underwear, actually. They're a German company. So we played soccer as well. I played a lot of sport. I played squash, tennis, everything. We were very lucky because we lived across the street from sports complex. So I got to play all the sports there, indoor soccer and everything. So it was great. And then they had a track and field because I used to run as well. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Are you willing to recite anything in the Irish language now? Can you think of anything? Shifting gears.
Yeah, I probably couldn't think of about 3 or 4 lines. Is that okay?
That's good.
It was actually an Irish poem, actually, that we did at school. And I got first place for it. They put me into a competition And the teacher always, actually they still have me on tape in any of the schools at home in Clonmel, like the Sister Charity where we went to school, speaking in Oscailga Irish. So I'll just recite, I think I probably remember about 3 or 4 lines, so that's about all I can do. Is that okay?
Good.
So it's Thought Thír na Nóg Chúl an Tí, Thír Alling Thrí na Céile, Loch Heracus Chúl an Tí, An Seo Oscailga. So that's it.
And do you have a rough translation? I heard Tír na Nóg.
Tír na Nóg is just Young Ireland. It's just basically all about the young people of Ireland, basically, is what it's about. So, and how they lived in their houses. Coolantee is just in their houses. That's all it really was about. It's about two. Actually, basically, what the whole poem is about two, a boy and a girl just meeting up, and they wanted to stay forever young. Basically, is what it's really all about when you get into the poem. It's a big long poem, so you'd want about a 3-hour tape for that now.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you gave us that.
You're very welcome.
So we'll switch gears again. What was your wedding day like?
Oh my God, yeah, my wedding day was actually very funny. My sister was supposed to come home and stand with me. She actually moved to England and she said she wasn't coming, but then she arrived the morning of the wedding and it was just so much fun. I had my 2 friends stand with me. There was about 10 or 12 of us in the house all running around, and we went up the town then just to get our makeup done, our hair done. And my husband-to-be, Sean, actually just arrived home from America because he had moved to America in 86, and he came back in 88 so we could get married and then move to America. So they were just back. He was living in a hotel just for a couple of days and he got married out of the hotel. So it was just so much fun. All the neighbours were in and they all wishing you well. But I always remember my sister coming through the door and everyone was so excited that she was there and everything. She was supposed to stand with me, but now she couldn't because obviously I had these other 2 girls, my 2 friends standing with me. But I remember her always coming home and she wasn't ready that day. Everything was like, oh, I'll get ready. And I always remember her, the funny thing, like she was always saying, I don't know why people get married. You'd be better off. She said, you'd be better off now if we went out in a session, she said, and leave them all at the church and just don't show up. She was trying to convince me not to show up because she thought this would be great crack. Like, that means fun in Ireland. That'd be great crack to leave everyone sitting there. And I was like, I don't think Mammy would appreciate it. Mammy wouldn't care. She said she wouldn't be into the wedding anyway. So my niece and nephews were there and we were all taking pictures. The photographer came and all the neighbours. I mean, it was just so much fun, you know. So then, you know, we went down to the church. I was like 30 minutes late. Sean didn't think I was going to show up at all. So my father was giving me away and we went up the church and I was like literally shaking because I'm not one, you know, for all this attention and everyone looking at you. So I think I fell up the aisle. The priest asked me to light the candles, couldn't light the candles. I nearly put the place on fire. Eventually, when I did get the candles lighting, I mean, it was just a comedy of errors. Like, I mean, I think the priest was so happy to get rid of us out of the vestibule that day because he just cut the ceremony kind of a little bit short than we expected. So then we went on to the army barracks where my best friend's Monica, her father actually was the chef down there who did the whole wedding for us. And I think the wedding went on for about 4 days. So we were supposed to go on our honeymoon the next day, but we cancelled because everyone was still around. So we went on major sessions. We went out to Kilmanahan. They always had a major session around 2:00 in the afternoon. So we were there at noontime, just when the pub opened. We went to Mass, went into the pub. That was like the real thing of a Sunday to do in Ireland. So then we stayed there. So then we stayed for 3 nights more. So yeah, just singing our heads off. Yeah, people were fed up with me at that point. I didn't have the wedding dress on now. I did change out of that, so that was a good thing. But we had so much fun. I was glad I stayed around. But eventually then we went to Kerry. So Kerry was absolutely beautiful. We went to, I can't remember where in Kerry did we go. Oh, Killarney actually we went to. Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, Killarney. So that was really fun. But yeah, a lot of people, we had so much fun at the weddings. Everyone was up singing. I was up singing and my friends were like so drunk. Actually, Caroline, the funny thing was Sean's sister Caroline had to be carried out. 4 people had to carry her out. She could not even stand on her legs. I mean, it was just so much fun. And then I remember my wedding cake was done in, he never did it for a lot of people, but he made love hearts out of the cake. And it was a 3-tier cake. And I remember someone fell into that by the end of the night. It was just, every time I think back, It was a great day though, had by all. And I remember coming home then that night because we were in the barracks. They say friend or foe. You're not actually supposed to walk around the barracks because obviously they're securing the barracks. So we were all leaving that night, and there was a big fence, it was kind of fenced in where we were leaving to go to the main door so they could leave us out. And this soldier guy came up, and they have guns there, and he's saying friend or foe. And we were like, foe, 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 ho, 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 messing with him. So he didn't find it funny. So he was like, had the three of us up against the wall. But my friend came out afterwards and missed the fence and went flying flat-faced right into him. So that was kind of funny. He didn't find it one bit funny, but we did. Of course, we were very drunk. So, but it was a great day. Yeah, and it was very, very funny overall. Yeah, very fun. So that was a great day. Had by all, so.
And where were you actually married? What was the church?
We actually got married in St. Peter and Paul's. Yeah, we did. Yeah, where the two of us, grew up. Yeah, went to Mass. Yeah.
So Sean was also from that parish?
Sean was also from that parish. Yeah, Sean lived just around the corner from us. He was from Barn Park, where we were from as well, in Clonmel. Yeah. So Jeffrey Barn Park, yeah.
Okay. Now, when you were leaving Ireland, the second time, because you told us about coming here initially and going back.
Correct.
But when you decided to come back, what was